February 2nd, 1933, Le Mans, France. A quiet town, known for its medieval architecture and serene streets, was about to be shaken to its core. A seemingly ordinary house on the Rue Bruyère held a dark secret. It was a place where unimaginable horrors would unfold. Inside, two maids, sisters Christine and Leah Papin, had savagely murdered their employer, Madame Renée Lancelin, and her daughter Geneviève. The details were shocking. The brutality, unimaginable. The sisters had used household items to carry out their gruesome act. The crime sent shockwaves through France, exposing the undercurrents of class resentment and the plight of domestic servants in the early 20th century. It was a stark reminder of the tensions simmering beneath the surface of society. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong, it was something far more sinister. This was a frenzied attack, fueled by something dark and sinister. The sisters' rage seemed almost otherworldly, as if driven by forces beyond their control. The Papin sisters' case became a national obsession. Newspapers and radio broadcasts covered every detail, and the public couldn't get enough. It raised disturbing questions about social injustice, mental illness, and the very nature of evil. How could such violence erupt in a seemingly peaceful household? The murders they committed continue to fascinate and horrify to this day. Scholars and true crime enthusiasts alike study the case, searching for answers. Their story is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. It serves as a cautionary tale about the hidden depths of human nature. If you found this story intriguing, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more true crime stories. Stay tuned for the next chapter in the chilling tale of the Papin sisters. Christine and Leah Papin were born into poverty in rural France. Their childhood was marred by their father's alcoholism and abuse. Their mother, unable to cope, sent Christine to live with an aunt and placed Leah in an orphanage. This separation deeply affected the sisters. It forged a bond that would later prove both powerful and destructive. Christine, the elder, found work as a maid. She was hard-working and efficient, but also known for her temper. Leah, quieter and more submissive, followed in her sister's footsteps. They found employment together, working as live-in maids for various bourgeois families. The sisters were inseparable, finding solace and support in each other amidst the isolation of domestic service. In 1926, the Papin sisters were hired by the Lancelin family. Madame Lancelin, the wife of a prominent lawyer, ran a strict household. The sisters' lives were governed by an endless list of chores and expectations. They toiled long hours, confined to their attic bedroom when not working. Over time, tensions grew. The sisters felt increasingly isolated and resentful. Madame Lancelin was a demanding employer. She treated the sisters more like possessions than employees. Small infractions were met with harsh reprimands. The pressure, like steam building in a pressure cooker, was reaching a boiling point. On that fateful February evening in 1933, a seemingly insignificant event triggered a horrific explosion of violence. Madame Lancelin and Geneviève returned home from shopping to find the house in darkness. An iron had blown a fuse, leaving the sisters unable to finish their ironing. The sisters, already on edge, were met with a furious Madame Lancelin. Words were exchanged. A struggle ensued. Chaos erupted. Christine, in a fit of rage, grabbed a pewter pot and bludgeoned Madame Lancelin to death. Geneviève rushed to her mother's aid, only to meet the same gruesome fate at the hands of Leah. Hours later, Monsieur Lancelin returned home to find his house shrouded in darkness. He couldn't have imagined the horrors that awaited him inside. He discovered the mutilated bodies of his wife and daughter lying in a pool of blood. The murder weapons, a hammer and a knife, lay discarded nearby. The police quickly apprehended the Papin sisters. They were found in their locked bedroom, naked and covered in blood. They confessed to the murders, their calm demeanor chillingly at odds with the brutality of their crime. The The case sent shockwaves through France, becoming a media sensation. The trial of Christine and Leah Papin began in September 1933, drawing immense public interest. The courtroom was packed to the brim, the public captivated by the horrific details of the crime and the strange, almost eerie bond between the sisters. Christine, the more dominant of the two, claimed full responsibility for the murders, attempting to shield her sister from the harshest consequences. She painted a vivid picture of unbearable working conditions and relentless abuse at the hands of Madame Lelan, describing a life of torment and suffering. Leah, passive and withdrawn, corroborated her sister's account, adding weight to Christine's claims of mistreatment. The prosecution, however, argued that the murders were premeditated and driven by a deep-seated resentment towards their employers, suggesting a calculated act of violence. The brutality of the crime, they argued, pointed to a level of rage that went far beyond a simple act of self-defense, indicating a more sinister motive. The jury deliberated for just over an hour before returning a guilty verdict, a decision that seemed almost inevitable, given the evidence presented. Christine was sentenced to death, a grim fate, while Leah, deemed less culpable and more influenced by her sister, received a sentence of 10 years in prison, a comparatively lighter punishment. Madness or revenge? The Papin sisters' trial ignited a firestorm of debate across France. Was this a case of temporary insanity? Were they driven mad by the relentless pressure and isolation of their lives as domestic servants, or were they cold-blooded killers, motivated by a simmering resentment towards their social superiors? Psychiatrists offered conflicting opinions. Some argued that the sisters suffered from a shared delusional disorder, citing their close bond and history of trauma. Others pointed to the calculated nature of the murders as evidence of premeditation. The public remained divided. Some sympathized with the sisters, viewing them as victims of a rigid and exploitative class system. Others saw them as monsters, their crime a chilling reminder of the potential for violence lurking beneath the surface of everyday life. The Papin sisters' story became a cultural phenomenon. It inspired numerous books, plays, films, and even an opera. Each interpretation offered a different lens through which to view the crime and its perpetrators. Some focused on the psychological complexities of the sisters' relationship, while others used the case to critique social injustices and the exploitation of the working class. Jean Genet's play The Maids, for example, drew heavily on the Papin case, exploring themes of class conflict, identity, and rebellion. The sisters' story continues to resonate with artists and audiences alike, a testament to the enduring power of their story. Their crime, though horrific, serves as a stark reminder of the human capacity for both love and violence. Echoes of exploitation. The Papin sisters' case exposed the harsh realities of domestic service in early 20th century France. Live-in maids were often treated as little more than slaves. They worked long hours for little pay, subject to the whims and demands of their employers. Their lives were ones of isolation and drudgery, with little hope of escape. The case sparked a national conversation about labour rights and the treatment of domestic workers. It contributed to the rise of labour unions and the push for better working conditions. Although significant progress has been made since the 1930s, the echoes of exploitation still resonate today. The plight of domestic workers, often migrants from poorer countries, remains a pressing issue in many parts of the world. A chilling reminder. The chilling tale of the Papin sisters continues to fascinate and disturb, capturing the imagination of many over the decades. It serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature, revealing the intricate layers of our psyche. It highlights the devastating effects of poverty, abuse, and social injustice, showing how these factors can drive individuals to unimaginable actions. It forces us to confront the dark side of humanity, the potential for violence that lurks within us all, waiting to be unleashed under dire circumstances. The Papin sisters' story is not simply a historical curiosity, but a profound reflection on the human condition. It is a timeless tragedy, a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, social inequality, and the human capacity for both love and violence, intertwined in a complex dance. As we grapple with these issues in our own time, the story of Christine and Léa Papin remains as relevant and thought-provoking as ever, urging us to reflect on our own society. It serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of the human psyche and the importance of creating a just and compassionate society where such tragedies can be prevented.